Listen, listen, listen. And I'm going to say this right now for everybody watching this video. Disclaimer, every single content creator in the space has an ego. To some extent, right? Like, obviously, you know, I'm not going to lie. I have a little bit of an ego. You know, I tend to think that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to gacha games, even slightly. Maybe I'm not the most smart. That's a point right there. Maybe I'm just not the brightest when it comes to kits and all that other stuff. It's why I don't do kit analysis anymore. But I will say this, that regardless of if I do kits and stuff, I usually don't open up a video calling myself anything but a gacha grandpa. Definitely not, you know, a gacha god. So today I'm going to be talking about a creator that I've been seeing around, and a couple of other big creators that I watch have talked about, and I feel like this is oh boy, this is gonna be something right here. So we got obviously Mr. Gacha God himself, Tuhu, on here with Delusional Gacha Takes Episode 4, sensationalizing the Big Four. Now, a few disclaimers before we actually get into this video, right? Obviously, I'm not promoting the harassment of any gacha creator. I think that any creator deserves to say their piece. However, freedom of speech does not give you freedom of consequence. So if people are going after you, even if I don't condone it, it's what it is, man. And obviously, I also know that I'm swinging upwards here. I'm at a crispy 2,906 or 2,920 something. This guy's at like 69K. Funny number. And I know that it's not really going to matter too much in regards to my response, but I feel like I could give some takes from somebody who is kind of a little bit of a third party here. I've watched a little bit of this video, and I'll be pausing and going to specific parts. I will try to include every single piece of context, but I don't want to bore you with every single piece of this video that happens. But I will tell you this, it is a little bit of a doozy. So if you like the content, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. Hit that notification bell to be notified when the next Tystra video comes out. And of course, leave a comment about what you think about this, right? Now, let's go ahead and dive in. Also, just figured I'd let you know, see that little Gamer Subs thing right there? I forgot to take it off. I know he wants a sponsorship for Gamer Subs, but hey, make sure to use code Tystra for 10% off, baby. We're trying to get our own cup, and I need y'all's help to do it, right? So let's go ahead and dive into this video. I just want to make sure one thing really quick. And perfection. All right, let's go ahead and dive in.
Delusional gacha takes, but unlike the first couple, this one's going to be more chill. In case y'all forgot, in the pilot episode of the series, I did mention,
bear in mind, it's not going to be chill,
that on occasion, I'll make more relaxed videos like this one, where I'm not necessarily talking about like drama or anything on the heavier side like that. And no, before you ask, it's not cause of the rats. Why do you think a god like me needs to be scared of some pieces of trash on the internet after all? But it's because what I want to talk about the internet after. I've been playing gacha.
That is already like 3 times he's called himself a gacha god. I don't, bro, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, what is the point of calling yourself a god? Like, okay, again, maybe it's just the personality thing. Maybe that's what you're into. But I feel as though, like, something stupid. Well, I know something stupid's about to come up. But let's go ahead and continue onward.
Gacha games for the last 8 years, and currently I'm playing and keeping up with 13 of them, with more to
Wait, what?
come in the future as they come.
You're insane. So, I watched a little bit of Techie's video before watching this video as well. And, yeah, keeping up and playing 13 gachas is absolutely fucking insane, and you shouldn't do it in the slightest. The fact that this guy thinks that this is a good idea, right? And I, from what I saw in Tectone's video, this guy doesn't have a job. How are you paying for this? Like, unless you're free to play on a majority of them, which I would assume the best part, or the best intentions of that, right? And don't get it twisted, right? I'm gonna make fun of myself a little bit here. I am playing 5 gachas right now. I play my biggest ones are Wuwa and Goddess of Victory Nikke, which I spend heavily on Wuwa and spend lightly on Nikke. I play also ZZZ, Genshin Impact, and what, I swear to God. Oh yeah, I forgot. I got rid of Honkai Star Rail, right? So really, I'm only playing 4 right now, which is pretty insane to me to think about. Huh. I really cut back. I'm proud of myself. Oh, man. But I digress. Like, I keep up pretty easily with those 4. I'm grinding on all of those games in some way, shape, or form. But I also have a full-time job outside of content creation, right? Which not a lot of people can say. Like, not a lot of people have a cushy job like I do, right? I have a very, very good job. I'm not going to tout about it too much. But I do make enough to be able to do this content creation thing without hurting my bank account, right? I can't say the same for our boy Tuhu here. Tuhu really be a gacha god by doing 13 gachas, right? Good on you, brother. Good on you. You're insane. You're absolutely stupid for doing 13 gachas if you are paying in all of them. And I would love to hear if he is or not, because if he is, my God, bro, that's insane. Also want to note that I know that he is a VTuber fan because I could tell in the back he's got Crony, he's got, I think that's Mori Calliope. I could be wrong on that, like right next to her. But again, I could be wrong on that. And I'm seeing another HoloLive member on there. Kudos to you, man. You have way more body pillows than I do. I only got the Firefly, and I got to replace that, right? I got to get me a Zani one because Wu was the greatest game out there. But I know that'll piss you off the more that we get into this video. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive in some more.
As they come out. And because there are some individuals out there with more than 46 chromosomes who heard me call myself that and got triggered off the face of the planet, which, by the way, is hilarious seeing them crash out like that. I'd like to clarify that I don't call myself the god of gacha just because I play a whole bunch of gacha games or just because I spent a whole lot of money on them.
Okay, so we did spend a whole lot of money on them. Okay, that makes it even worse, bro. Like, yeah, you could say I crashed out on the gacha god thing, right? I don't like it personally, and I've always had this issue where people call themselves a god or something, right? I've gotten better at it because I know that most people are joking. The problem is with this guy, I don't think he's joking. And we're going to get to that here in just a moment, too. So
I call myself the gacha god because I know gacha. I know what they truly are. I know how they work, how you're supposed to play them, what to look for to know if a gacha is like a good one, and most importantly, how to improve them.
Damn. I'm just going to say this right now. I hope you do. Playing and maintaining 13 of them, dude. Like, you have no life. Like, my God. I don't know what else to say, man. Like, sure, you can call yourself a gacha god because you have a lot of gacha experience. Like, obviously, the 4 gachas that I'm playing currently right now does not equate to the godly mastery of 13 gachas and maintaining them and knowing exactly what they need to do to improve, right? But I have a lot of gacha experience dating way back when I was playing freaking, you know, Dokkan Battle, like, second year, right? I played Summoner's War. I played a bunch of other gachas in the past. The reason being that I have transitioned from those gachas is because I know for a fact that if I'm not happy with a game or if I'm constantly disliking a game, I usually transition away. The only one that I haven't done so completely is Genshin Impact, but I actually do find some enjoyment in Genshin Impact. Some, not a lot. But to say that you're a gacha god and saying that I know this, I know that, I know this, man, you got almost 70K subscribers and you're still asking for handouts. If you know so much about gacha, you should be making your own, man. Like, make your own. You can, dude, you know so much. You can make the perfect gacha. You're the gacha god, right? Anyway, again, just the insane amount of like bullshit coming out of this guy's mouth is insane. And again, this is already 9 minutes in, and I've only watched 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Aggressive in this video. I lied.
He lied!
I'll keep it to those certain individuals, though. But enough trash talk for now. In this video, I want to talk about the tendency of big gacha players, people who mainly play or only play any number of what I like to call the big four gachas, Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, Zenless Zone Zero, and Wuthering Waves.
Ooh, he's calling me out because I played all 4 of these except for Honkai Star Rail. I quit that just recently, and I'll get to that video a little bit later.
To create content that suggests that the game they're talking about is like the best or the greatest at something. And the examples of such that I'll bring up throughout my video here are the following. These 2 videos by Honkai Chaser that say Zenless Zone Zero is the hardest gacha game out there.
So in the title, it's not saying, it's asking the question and with an exclamation point. Maybe that's just too much of a dig at him, right? Because if you read it, it's not saying ZZZ is the hardest Hoyoverse game. It's saying ZZZ is the hardest Hoyoverse game? And even then, like you could say like hardest gacha game in that one thumbnail, right? Like exclamation point. It's clickbait. That's easily what it is. But if you look at this other title, ZZZ is the hardest Hoyoverse game, exclamation point, question mark, right? Come on. Like, dude, are you really upset because somebody said that one gacha game is harder than another gacha game? Are you fucking serious? Like, are you stupid? Like, what the fuck? You're actually mad about this? This is it. This is the hill you're gonna die on. I'm mad because another content creator said that this was the hardest gacha game. I'm the gacha god. How dare you? I'm sorry, man. Like, let's just keep going.
And these videos saying Wuwa's 2.0 patch is the best patch in all of gacha gaming. There are, of course, a lot more examples out there of what I'm talking about, but these were the ones that I just happened to come across. I'll give you the bottom line here first, and then go into the examples listed above. I'm not a fan of people saying that whatever gacha they play is the best at any.
I'm gonna turn him down just a little bit. He's a little too loud. You're a little too loud, buddy.
Gacha games.
You're a little too loud.
For example, saying that your gacha is the hardest gacha to play, or that one patch in your gacha is like the best patch out of any gacha game out there. And I got 2 reasons as to why. First is simply because many, if not most, of the people who make videos or tweets like this, they don't have to be just videos, they can be tweets too, don't play many other gacha games that
I'm gonna play this at like 1.5 speed because we need to speed this up, buddy. You're crashing out about people finding other games harder and finding other games the best. It's subjective. It's a subjective opinion. Like, sorry that they're not godly aura like you, man. Like, bro. Like, this is insane. This guy literally is insane, in my opinion. Like, I just noticed this. There's a little bit of Gamer Subs merch over there. Did you use code Tystra for 10% off, buddy?
Aren't the big 4, right? Checking the channels of the people who made the first couple of videos that I'm using as examples here, Honkai Chaser appears to upload mainly Hoyo content, such as Honkai Impact and more recently Zenless Zone Zero. Ethan seems like he mainly puts up Wuwa content nowadays, though if I...
You are not attacking my boy Ethan. Like, Ethan's been such a fun, like, watch, in my opinion. And plus I've talked to him at DMs. He's a pretty dope dude. Why I feel like this is just to kind of punch other content creators down. And you could say the same thing for this video right here, but I think this dude is just, man, this guy is trying way too hard to like find something. Are you that bored with your content? Like, are you just trying to find like drama so that you could like, you got it, you got drama, people are reacting to you now. But god damn, man.
Search his video history, he did start out on Genshin at least, and Sukumen Ramen's been doing more gaming news lately, but he's done plenty of gacha content before. But outside of a few exceptions, like Sukumen doing videos on GFL2 and Reverse 1999 a while back, it seems like none of these guys play much else in terms of gacha. Technically, Honkai Chaser has played quite a bit of Honkai Impact, and Honkai Impact definitely isn't one of the big 4, so he's the main exception here, but true to his name, his content consists of entirely Hoyoverse games, so I don't know if he's played any other gacha or not. It is possible that they do play others besides the ones that they make content for. It could just be that they just don't make content on them, or maybe...
So basically, what it stands is like, if the only way that you could be knowledgeable in the gacha space is if you play more than 4 gachas, and I think that's very stupid. I think that's a very stupid promotion, right? Because here's the thing: I'm not gonna tell you guys to play every single gacha that I play. To me, that just doesn't make any sense, right? Why would I, the guy who tells you do not summon on banners or anything like that, or you know, this is predatory practices. I do it so that you guys don't have to. Why would I say that and then be like, oh, to understand gotchas, you got to play like 4 or 5 of them, right? Like, this is such a stupid take. Like, bro, you have knowledge of how to be bankrupt. Congratulations. Like, this is so stupid. Again, I'm going to say it's stupid. And people can call me out too, whatever, but like, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a gacha god and that I know everything about gacha and that you should play more than 4 gachas to understand gacha. It's such a stupid take. It's a stupid take.
Maybe they only stream them instead of making dedicated YouTube videos for them if they do stream. I myself play 13 different gacha games, but I don't like make regular content on all of them, clearly. But for like 8 or 9 of them, I do have these whales logs or dolphins logs videos that I make at the end or the beginning of every month. What this bald retard doesn't get is that these videos were never meant to get a whole ton of views or anything like that. I make them because I think it's kind of cool to document the progress on some of my gachas and see how much they've changed or improved over the months and years, and they're there if anyone wants to follow along. Tectone.
Okay, and that's fair. You could make a little log of your own stuff, but like, again, you're putting something out there to be criticized, especially when you're punching up, right? This guy is punching up to Tectone, who like literally outweighs him in subscriber count. And he could sit here and say like he's the gacha god, but you're not the biggest creator in the space. Yeah, you might be knowledgeable, but the fact remains that you're just not up there, bro. Like, and even me, like I can't sit here and say that I'm above him because, well, I'm the little guy in this, right? I'm the small channel punching upwards too. The only difference is that I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all, the audience, to play multiple gachas and possibly spend all of your money to do this stuff. And maybe he says the same thing, don't spend your money. But the fact that you're telling them to play different gachas and play consistently more gachas, like, and to sit here and like act like, you know, you don't know anything until you play like this many gachas, that's how it comes off, dude. Like, you're saying that no other gacha creator can really be on your level of expertise. And your expertise is, like I said, go like breaking your bank. Like, focus on paying your bills before you know, start touting about your gacha knowledge. And maybe your bills are fine, but it doesn't seem that way with the messages that you sent Tectone yourself. So that's just me. Maybe that's changed recently. I don't know.
Called himself a fan of my content or some bull like that, or at least he used to be. So he should have known that, considering my very first whales log that I did for my FGO account is older than his entire
entire. And the fact that he's
attacking
Tectone the way that he is
does nowadays made all his hair
insane.
fall out, I guess. Or maybe he was just a fan of my videos when I only talked about stuff that fit his agenda. Huh, funny how that works. Anyways, the Timu Asmongold tangent aside, these whales logs and dolphins logs I do every month now serve as my proof that I do in fact keep up with all 13 of my gachas. For the ones that I don't make these log videos for, you can just hit up my stream either right here on my YouTube channel or over on Twitch at twitch.tv/ToeSniper98 and ask me how my progress has been in them, and I'll gladly show you. I say all of this to point out that a lot of these guys who say stuff like Zenless or Wuwa for that matter is the hardest gacha game out there, or Wuwa has the best patch ever, haven't or have barely played other gacha games. So without trying to sound too dramatic when I say this, what kind of authority do they think they have when they
What kind of authority? What the fuck is this? This has to be like, this has to be fake. This guy cannot be for real. What kind of authority do you think you have saying that this is the best game ever? Like, opinions? Bro. I can't, man. The amount of, like, idiocracy coming from that statement. What kind of authority do they think they have saying that this gacha game is the best gacha game? Or that this patch is the best patch? Like, bro, you sound like a fucking moron. Like, this is insane to me. I've said insane a lot, but this guy really needs to be checked into like a hospital of some sort, because I truly feel that like playing 13 gacha games has rotted his brain. Like, completely, bro. Go outside. Go have fun. Bowl. Go drink. Well, don't go drink. Don't do that. Go bowl. Go like laser tag. Go to an amusement park. Go touch grass. Go meet a woman. Something I can't do.
They say stuff like that. How do you know that, for instance, Zenless is in fact the hardest gacha game out there?
I don't think
know
it's
that
a
there are plenty
fact,
of
it's
Wuwa
subjective.
players and content creators alike who will gladly disagree. And by the way, since I get the feeling this might happen, please do not harass Honkai Chaser for that. I'm only bringing him and his content up as an example for my video, so leave him the alone. It's pathetic enough what a lot of the Wuwa community's turned into, and the fact that pieces of like these three exist doesn't exactly help.
Yo, you can't be coming at Ithoma like that. That's my homie. Ithoma's great. That dude is fantastic. Shout out to him. He makes some banger ass content and he's funny as fuck. Saint Totas, it is what it is. Like, I like Saint. I think he's dope. I think that he crashes out way too easily. And then of course Techie, like Techie's an inspiration to me as a content creator. And I think that he's an inspiration to a lot of content creators, including our boy Doohoo here, right? Because he actually messaged Tectone in the DMs in Discord, which, by the way, you know, is fantastic. Like, Tectone goes out of his way to help out a lot of smaller creators. Still waiting for that ring there. But I digress. I think that this guy here got his little bit of help, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to bite the hand that feeds, right? For me, like, I look at this and I'm like, bro, if you wanted to be actual friends with somebody, you wouldn't care about being rated. You wouldn't care about any of this. I think this dude just wanted to, like, hey, give me a little bit of people, right? Give me a little bit of exposure. And you know what? I'm going to turn my back on him. Dude, you are the second creator in the last month to do this to people he would consider as a friend. The only difference is that you're not a VTuber and you're not hot. It's just how it is.
Tower is really challenging, don't get me wrong. And Honkai Chaser was doing like, I don't know, floor 70, I think it was, or something like that when I checked his video, and that's a lot more impressive than my lazy ass stuck down there at only floor 30. But I thought this, when
I thought you kept up with all 13 gachas. I thought you kept up with them. So that would mean that you're like up there, right? So to me, if you're not at that level, does that not mean that you don't have that knowledge? Which means that you don't know if it's harder? Interesting. I think it's pretty funny that you haven't even gotten up to that level and you're sitting here saying like, oh, this is not the hardest gacha game. Like, who knows? Like, once you get up there, then you could say it. Mr. Gacha God.
I play Battle Tower, right? It's difficult for sure, and you can't make a single mistake because one hit means like 3/4 of your health is already gone, and a bad hit means that one of your characters is already dead. But I know that as long as I keep trying, as long as I learn how to play better and stop having a skill issue, I will be able to beat it.
That's
if I truly
every
want to reach
gacha
100
game.
or however high it goes up to in Zenless Battle Tower, right? I'm confident that I can get there eventually, though obviously it'll take me quite a bit of grind to do so. But I can't say the same about all the other gachas I played. Some of them have fights where the entire time I didn't know if I was going to beat them. FGO, for instance, is the gacha that I know the most in terms of its mechanics, like how to play and such, and it's the gacha that I've been playing for the longest, and there have still been some fights, some challenge stages that is, where not only did they take an hour or two to clear each, but I wasn't confident that I could clear it to begin with. And oftentimes I didn't, and I had to do that all over again. Girls Frontline 1.
You know what's crazy is saying that, but then also saying that you didn't go through Battle Tower is very hypocritical, because you're saying that you played FGO. You're saying that you beat these, you failed a couple times, but you beat them, right? You've beaten it. You haven't beaten Battle Tower. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I've beaten Battle Tower, but what I am going to say is use your own, like, you should choose your words carefully next time. Because now you look like a dumbass. You look like a hypocrite. You can't sit here and say, I've beaten this, and it's harder, but I haven't beaten this, but it's easy. If I dedicate time, it's fine. If you dedicate time in any freaking game, dude, you dedicate time in any game, you'll do better. That's just how gaming works. So overall, your opinion, already invalid. Already invalid when it comes to that, or your fact towards what's a harder gacha game. Jesus Christ, dude! Like, how do you say that?
One had hard mode event stages that even when I was following guides on YouTube telling me what to do, I didn't know if I could still beat them, both due to map RNG and my own micro, or the lack thereof. Arknights had a couple of
Again, you didn't know if you could, but you did.
18 contingency contracts that I struggled with, one of which I just threw my hands up and said, F it, I'm just looking up a guide. And don't even get me started on Blue Archive raids. Nexon can actually...
Bro, please don't tell me this is your actual stream. What do you? Okay, so first off, right? What the, what the fuck is this? Like, bro. Okay. This is recent too, and you want to know how I know it's recent? Is because you could see Nikkei. It's the third gacha down on the right side. That's the new event that came out as part of Nikkei's new 2.5 anniversary. So this is recent. Like this shot is recent, right? Now, overall, like I don't think there's anything wrong with putting yourself out there playing this many gacha games at the same time, right? If you have the attention span to do it, then fine. But bro, to me, this is heartbreaking to look at. Like, I mean, this is just insane to me. Like, this is insanity. And then to claim like, oh, all these other, again, I'm circling back to this point, and I hope to who this makes sense. If you listen to me right here and now, you might not even get this far in the video. If you beat something, but you haven't beaten the other thing, you don't have a say in the matter to say that somebody else's opinion is invalid, right? You could say, and you talk about this stuff too, you could say, like, out of all the gacha games I played, this is the hardest, right? So long as you've beaten it. But at the same time, if you have not gotten to the same level as somebody else and somebody else claims, like, this is the hardest, like, gacha game that I played, you can't sit there and be mad because you haven't beaten that, right? And, you know, it works for anything. Like, I just feel that this is such a stupid argument. It's such a, like, his whole thing is, like, he's mad because somebody said that a gacha game was hard. And the hardest one they played. Or the hardest game out there. Because of a clickbait title. You got clickbait, you got mad.
Actually go f themselves.
Stupid.
How do you know that, for example, Wuthering Waves 2.0 patch is the greatest patch in gacha history? Right? It was amazing, don't get me wrong. Rina Sita is a huge improvement over Huanglong. The game got much better visually. Flight is cool, among other things. A lot more things, actually. But the greatest patch in gacha history levels of good? Because Snowbreak Containment Zone had a patch that turned that gacha into a full-on Gunner or Kumer.
What game?
Or game, whichever.
No, I'm kidding. Snowbreak is great. But here's the thing, in my opinion. What he's about to say just sounds incredibly stupid. Because I do remember what he said in this.
Terminology you prefer, with characters and skins that look like this these days, when at launch it was a lot more conservative. And
Looks
I know what
great,
you're
by the
thinking,
way.
you know, oh, Gunner content doesn't mean it's the best patch ever, which you're right, on its own it wouldn't be. But that patch for Snowbreak was one of the crucial reasons why that game was able to avoid EOS. Or in other words, Snowbreak going full Gunner quite literally saved the game, at least partially. And now the devs are the same ones developing that new PvP mecha game called Mecha Break because Snowbreak did so well after their Gunner patch. Again, WoW's 2.0 patch was amazing, but when people talk about the best patch ever, more so than its contents, I also think about how much of an impact that patch had on its game overall.
So, because WoW wasn't close to end of service and they made a great patch, probably one of the best patches in gacha game history, it doesn't compare to Snowbreak's patch with the, you know, Gunner stuff because that saved the game. Okay. So, a gacha games, like, the best gacha game patch has to save a game from end of service. That's what I'm taking from this. You're saying the impact. Well, the impact of WoW's 2.0 was huge on the community in general and huge on gacha games, as it was. It legitimized them as a contender, as one of the best gacha games out there today. Now, are you going to sit here and say that Snowbreak is better than WoW? I played Snowbreak. Snowbreak's good. I'm not going to sit here and say which one's better or not. But I am going to say that while they're both impactful patches, right? And one saved it from end of service. Like, I haven't experienced it, so I have no say in the matter. All I can say is that 2.0 is fantastic and up there as one of the best gacha patches I have actually been a part of. Now, I don't think that a game being saved from end of service means that it's the best gacha patch ever. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you saved it from dying. Maintain it, which they have. Snowbreak is still out there. Snowbreak's still doing decent. But if you're looking at the perspective of how much money these games are making, like Wuwa's 2.0 shot them up. I can't say the same for Snowbreak in regards to shooting them up past some of the bigger names. Does it mean it was a horrible patch? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I think that saying that a gacha game is close to death and then it gets revived just because of a patch means that it's the greatest patch. It just, to me, that doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm the crazy one in this.
Wuwa 2.0 had a ton of impact. That's undeniable. But even if it weren't that amazing, it wouldn't have, like, killed the game or anything like that. Like, people would still keep playing, myself included. Snowbreak's Gunner patch, on the other hand, had end of service on the line. And if it did EOS, it would have killed off not just Snowbreak, but also Mecha Break, most likely. And all that was just for one other gacha. I'm sure that there are other gacha games out there that have had just as impactful patches that changed them drastically for the better, if not even more. My point here is that saying, again, for example, Wuthering Waves has the best patch in gacha history doesn't have much weight to it if the person or the people saying that have only ever played Wuwa and maybe some Hoyo games and that's it. Obviously, gacha games are so much more than just the big four, and just because you don't play them doesn't mean that they all of a sudden don't exist. I try not to generalize my statements like that because I understand that gacha games are very nuanced, and there's a lot of things to consider when you talk about them. So if someone who runs around calling themselves a god of gacha tries not to do that, what makes you think you can? Some of you may point out that maybe I'm just taking this a little too seriously.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro, it's just a few clickbait titles, man. Like, it's not that deep. I even said before in my last Delusional Gacha Takes video that I get it, this is just how content creation is nowadays. To that, I just like to point out the fact that those pieces of trash that I mentioned earlier got triggered enough by me calling myself the Gacha God that they made their own dog react videos where they did nothing but throw around personal insults because actual counter arguments are beyond their mental capacity. So
you're mad because you called yourself a gacha god, they called you out for it, and now you're even more mad and calling them pieces of trash because they called you out for it. I guess I'm a piece of trash, y'all. And it's not the first time I've been called that. It's not the first time. It definitely won't be the last. But I am going to sit here and tell you, like, you posted online. When you post a video online, you put yourself out there for scrutiny. It's just how it is. If you're going to be mad that people are going after you, you have to understand the underlying fact that you are being scrutinized online because you posted it online. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom of consequence. People are going to dig on you because you play and upkeep 13 gachas and call yourself a gacha god while also not being able to pay for everything in your life. I'm just saying, man, like, from what it seems like, you ain't got your life together. You need to get your life together before that. And if that's you could take that as you will. Take it as you will. But I'm just saying, you're being mad about, like, another person. And yeah, you could say the same thing for me. But at the same time, I'm also going to sit here and tell you, man, like, I don't need to play 13 gachas to know what to do when it comes to gacha games. Simple as that.
So clearly, I'm not the only one who takes things too seriously. Two wrongs don't make a right, but theirs are worse, so they can go f themselves. Oh, I know. Maybe they should go get their Twitch channels banned again. Ha! The second reason, and the far more important one, is because of this. This sort of language encourages people to build a media echo chamber around themselves and their favorite gacha. Obviously, it's not just content creators who say stuff like, oh, Zenless is the hardest gacha game, or Wuwa has the best patch in gacha history. Many regular players who don't stream or make videos share similar or the same opinions even, and haven't really played other gachas outside the big four. But even if the content creators themselves understand that what they're saying is not necessarily true and they're just exaggerating and playing up for the views, most of their viewers certainly won't. Because they don't play other gachas, regular players don't have the knowledge or the experience to say otherwise when some piece of shit like St. Pontus starts screaming in their faces with the biggest megaphone he can get his hands on about how Wuwa is the best gacha game in the world and Hoyo games should all just burn in hell.
So while I agree that I don't think that all the Hoyo games are bad. I will say that. I agree to that. But what I will say is this. When you're a content creator, you're already creating an echo chamber. Like, all these content creators that like to say, like, oh, well, I like to be open to everything and blah, blah, blah. No matter what, you're creating an echo chamber of your own viewers, of your own audience, right? I'll give you a great example, right? I was a Gacha creator, like, mainly only Genshin for a long, long time. And I did build up an audience. I was doing pretty dang good, right? Then I started transitioning into Honkai Star Rail and transitioning into other gacha games and talking about, my knowledge of certain things, right? Now, fast forward, and my opinion on Genshin Impact has changed because I'm like, I want it to be better. And now, the people that watched my channel for Genshin are mad at me because I'm talking bad about Genshin. It's just how it is. It has not, it's not as bad, right? When it's like, you know, how am I going to say this? It's not just the creator, it's the game itself. People will love whatever game. I could sit here and say that Elden Ring is one of my favorite games of all time. But when I go out there and I say that, somebody's going to come at me and say, well, yeah, but Bloodborne was better. In which it might as well be. Like, it, or not might as well be, but it might be. You know, I haven't finished Bloodborne. I can't say that, you know. But I could say, well, I haven't finished Bloodborne. And then the next thing they're going to say is, you should play Bloodborne. You should do this. You should do that. It's just how it is. People, it's human nature. It's human nature to, like, go after whoever and do all this other stuff. I feel like this is just another dumb take. Like, you're saying that, oh, because Saint Tonta said that, you know, Wuthering Waves is the best gacha game ever, you're mad because it's creating an echo chamber of his own people, and blah, blah, blah. Like, you're saying that all of Saint Tonta's people is the reason why, you know, not Kuro Games, but Wuthering Waves, the game, has a bad audience? No. Every gacha game has a toxic audience. Every one of them. Arknights has it. FGO has it. Genshin Impact has it. Honkai Star Rail, ZZZ, Wuwa, Dokkan Battle, Dragon Ball Legends, Summoner's War. You know, there's so many gacha games out there that toxicity is everywhere, buddy. If you can't handle it, get out of the community. That's just how it is. We're always going to see community members who are going to be, you know, negative Andes on the fucking internet saying bad things about the gacha games that we love to play. But it's up to you to go, I don't agree with that. I'm going to keep playing. It's the same with other people. Now, if other people come to your comment section and go, yeah, you're wrong about this. Woo was the best game ever. Don't engage. If you don't agree with it, don't engage. It's just that easy. Very simple, buddy. Very simple.
Is not the sort of behavior I want to see. As someone who actually has a vested interest in the development and evolution of gacha games, unlike Baltimore over there, who only...
You're invested in the evolution and advancement of gacha games. By the way, this is a weird still shot to come up on. Just, to me, I just feel like you're putting your investment in such a weird way. Like, again, you're playing 13 gacha games, and yeah, maybe that is your, like, obsession, right? That is your temporary, or not even temporary. Like, this is your go-to bread and butter. And, you know, you could say the same thing for me. Gacha games are my bread and butter when it comes to content creation. However, I do think that you have something going on in your brain that is causing these negative things in your brain, and you're lashing out to other content creators, right? Like Tectone, who has helped you a lot in the past. He showed screenshots. He showed the DMs. I just think that maybe, just maybe, you're a little bit pissed off for no reason.
Plays good gacha games to stroke his own dick whenever St. Tontas and Itoma aren't deep-throating it for him. I mean, hey, judging by this clip here.
The only thing that you put in place is my dick in your mother's mouth.
Hey, I'm just saying, I think Tectone should at least get some practice in first, and he's got these two holes ready and waiting, so while those...
You're so mad. Like, you are so mad at Tectone. Because, like, he agreed that you're fucking delusional. You got mad at your mom joke in 2025, bro. You're gonna be okay.
Those two go off and get some more of Techie's nuts stuck in their teeth. Unlike them, I prefer seeing people actually have discussions on how they want to see their favorite gachas improve, and Wuthering Waves is no exception if that's the only thing y'all learned from their first anniversary drama recently. No gacha game out there deserves such a level of praise that players and content creators alike treat it and its developers like they're some sort of, like, God's gift to the planet or something. I mean, besides, I don't remember gifting y'all shit anyway. No gacha game deserves such a level of glaze that people are lynched for daring to criticize it or even suggest that it could be better. This doesn't apply to just Wuwa, obviously, in case I need to clarify that.
So I will actually kind of agree with that. To who, it's going to be crazy. I'm going to give you a lot of shit through all this, but I will definitely agree with you on this. I don't think any gacha game should be getting, like, such crazy ass praise. It's a gacha game. It's predatory. Okay? That's pretty self-explanatory. So to glaze it, like some other creators, I'm not going to list any names, but I will say this. If you glaze a gacha game like it's the best thing since sliced bread, you're either A, getting a bag, or B, you're addicted to something that's going to hurt you financially. And to me, I feel like there's plenty of other games out there that are way better than gacha games. Like, I cover gacha games because I like covering gacha games. I do like gacha games, but it's not my favorite types of games, right? I love me some Elden Ring. I've been playing a lot of Oblivion lately. Elden Ring Night Reign's about to come out, which is going to be sick. Monster Hunter Wilds is beautiful. I've been freaking going off on that. Got all my Sakura Blossom stuff done. Already done with that stuff, so I'm pretty excited. I play a lot of simulator games too, like Schedule 1 and freaking Storage Hunter Sim, right? I love games, and gacha games is just a subgenre of that, but I don't make that my whole thing. So I will agree with Tuhu here. We should not be glazing gacha games of any type and making it be the best gacha game out there and like putting this negative stereotype. However, I also don't think that you should be playing 13 gacha games at once. I'm just saying, looking at you, Tuhu. Calm down with the gacha games. Just saying. It is what it is.
This applies to every gacha game out there. No gacha game is perfect, not even the ones that I hold in the highest regard, which includes Wuwa 2 in case you didn't watch my gacha tier.
He put Arknights in the top one. Okay. I know that there's people that think Arknights is like the top tier gacha game out there. I played it. I got bored. That's just how it is. Like, I didn't find it fun. Now, Arknights Enfield might be different. I am pretty excited to try that out and give it my opinion. I just didn't find Arknights to be that enjoyable. I'm not a big tower defense guy. Really just not into it. But that's just me. Some people love tower defense type games. Some people like action adventure. Some people like hack and slash. And some people like turn-based. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It depends on what you like. Tuhu, you like Arknights? Awesome, buddy. That's cool. I like Wuwa. I think Wuwa's better than Arknights. That's just me. That's my opinion. It is what it is.
Tier list video. For normal players, I can sort of forgive them for having or adopting this kind of mentality that their favorite gacha game is like the best at this or that. Maybe they can't or don't want to play a whole ton of gacha games like I do, which is fine, by the way. Nothing wrong with playing just one or two gachas on its own. So they have to be a lot more careful with which ones that they do play. So of course they'll care about the ones that they actually play the most. But for fellow content creators, I can't cut them the same kind of slack. Your viewers see you as mentors, role models even. Whether you care about it or not, you have the power to influence their decisions and their thoughts. So if you decide to propagate a one-sided narrative, no matter how seemingly small, like, oh, I don't know, like Hoyo or Kuro has the best gacha story or whatever, your viewers will buy into that if that's how you've cultivated your audience. Even if you say, well, I don't actually believe that myself, I'm just doing this because that's what my viewers want, or, oh, what was the popular gacha on the streets right now, so I want to capitalize on that to build up my own channel.
Oh my god.
I mean, that's kind of...
All right, so I'm gonna stop him right there really quick. I do agree that nobody should be going out there saying that their game is the best gacha game if they truly don't believe it. You should just be honest. I'm very honest about the gacha games I play. I'm a Hoyo creator, and I've said stuff about Genshin and Honkai Star Rail that isn't the best. I critique everything as I believe it should be critiqued. However, to say that if you're a content creator, you should be playing more than 2 gacha games, you're insane. I would not wish this upon anyone. I would not wish this upon anyone to play more than 2 gacha games. If you are a content creator and you are just playing 1 to 2, you are perfectly fine to have your own opinion. I'm giving you the pass right now, okay? As Gacha Grandpa, right? I may not be godly status, but you know, Gacha Grandpa is gonna tell you you can have your opinion. If you want to say that Wuwa is the best game out there and you only play Wuwa or Genshin, knock yourself out, brother. If you want to say Cookie Run Kingdom is the best gacha out there, hey, don't let me be the one to tell you no, and don't let Tuhu be the one to tell you no. That is your opinion. You are allowed to have your opinion. You may not have 100% information in regards to like, hey, you may have not found another gacha game that you could see is better, but the fact that he's going to sit here and say as a content creator, you have to play more than 2, that's basically what he's insinuating here. It's just insane. I'm not doing that.
Kind of like saying you don't like doing fentanyl yourself, but you ain't got a problem being a fentanyl dealer and like pulling up the parties to, you know, sell some to people, and now they rely on you for more. I'm sure that's a great way to build a following. I wouldn't know because I
That is
find
an
that pretty
insane
repulsive
comparison.
myself. But what I do know is that this is horrible for the overall gacha space, which is sort of what I care about, you know? Gachas as a whole. But I do want to recognize that not every Hoyo or Wuwa player out there is like this. There are still people out there who stay in their lane, so to speak. Instead of saying, you know, oh, Zenless is the hardest gacha game, or Wuwa's 2.0 patch is the best patch in gacha history, right? It's more accurate to say something like Zenless is the hardest Hoyo gacha, or Wuwa's 2.0 patch is the best patch in Wuwa history, like this tweet right here. I don't mind something like this because it's kept within the realm of the game that they're talking about, and it doesn't overstep its boundaries. They're not trying to sensationalize what's going on, or at least not to the same extent that other people do. My hope is that people either refrain from having such sensationalist attitudes towards their favorite gacha games, or at the very least, if they still want to be,
This guy
they
gives
expand
me
the
a
horizons
headache.
a bit and play other gachas first. Like I said, a whole ton of other gacha games out there outside the big four, you should try some of them. Like, I understand that gacha games are a huge commitment. I would know, I play 13 of them.
Oh
and
no,
that
I play
combined with most
13 of
people's
them.
tendency
Stay
to
in your
play what's
lane,
popular
boundaries,
creates
all
a
that good
situation
stuff, because
where
I
a lot
play
of gacha players out
13
there
of
are
them.
either scared
Don't
or
at
simply
me,
uninterested
bro.
in trying out anything else. Hell, technically, you don't even have to, like, actually physically play those other gachas. You can just, like, I don't know, watch videos on them, or ask people who already play them, what their game is like. Though, preferably, you should still try to play them yourself so that you can form your own opinion. But if you're gonna say something like, oh, what was the best gacha game ever? And I look at your YouTube channel or your stream VODs, and the only gacha I see you play or make content on is Wuthering Waves, or the only content you have on your channel is React Andy Slop, then, like, I'm sorry, but your words don't mean shit.
And that's perfectly fine. You don't have to take their words as gospel because it's not meant for you. Like, sorry, buddy. It doesn't matter what you fucking think. Like, you call yourself the gacha god, but you're so close-minded to, like, understand that people can formulate their opinions to not impress you. Who the fuck are you? Like, honestly, like, I hadn't heard of you, even, like, as a small creator looking at other bigger creators. I had not heard a damn thing about you until literally 2 weeks ago. And then I watched your content and I wanted to bash my head against the fucking wall. Like, dude, I just don't get this. Like, this is such a horrible fucking take. Like, you are so, like, you've got, like, privilege just pushed, like, oozing out of your pores. You have, like, the audacity to tell people, like, I play this many gacha games, so if your opinion doesn't match along with mine, yours just doesn't matter. Like, what the fuck, man? I don't know. This is definitely not going to be... I will be surprised if this video is monetized, but God, man, like, you are pompous, you are arrogant, and God forbid you need to go outside.
That's kind of like your average American saying that, oh, America's the best country in the world, USA, USA. And they've never been outside the US in their entire life. And I ain't out here trying to tell y'all to go pick up a dozen different gacha games and shove them down your own throat like Techie shoves his dick down Itomas and St. Tontus's. Like I said,
It's such a weird thing to just put out there. Like, why you are picturing Tectone putting his dick down Itoma and St. Tontus's throat, right? Like, that's your big thing right now. Like, dude, you got to get over that. Like, for real, for real. But you just said, I'm not sitting here telling you to play, like, 12 different gacha games. I'm saying that as a content creator, you need to play more than 2. I'm saying that as a player, like, you should just formulate your opinions and then be silent. Like, that's basically what this whole video is. Like, don't stay in your lane. Like, only say, like, oh, I love Genshin. Don't say, like, I feel that Genshin's the best game ever. Like, your opinion doesn't matter. Like, if you have a limited knowledge of games and you feel that that's it, that's your opinion. Like, you should play other games, but this guy is insane. Again, insane.
even one gacha is a huge commitment for most people. So however many extra you want to pick up is up to you.
One
However many
is
you're comfortable with.
a
You don't even have
commitment,
to play them every
but
day.
he plays
as long as you make an
13.
earnest effort to learn how other gacha games work. You can then compare how your favorite gacha, Genshin, Star Rail, Zenless, WoW, whichever, to these other gachas that aren't as popular. It will expose your favorite gacha's weaknesses, but it will also give you a bigger appreciation for what they do right. And even if you take my advice and try other gacha games and you're still kind of like, nah, like I still prefer WoW, for example, that's fine too. At least you gave those other gachas a shot. Just don't act like a prick just because you find somebody on the internet who doesn't have the best things to say about WoW. And
I think that he got one guide so badly that he feels like everybody is exactly like that person. I feel like you got extremely one-guyed and you just crashed out and said that everybody acts like this. That's just my take on it.
I want to add that while everything I've talked about in this video so far applies the easiest to the big four gachas, they certainly aren't the only ones. There are other gacha games out there that have their own fanatical player bases, players who glaze their games and tweet the out whenever somebody has anything bad to say about them. The gacha that comes to mind for me that most fits this bill outside the big four is Limbus Company. I mean, just look at the comment section for their last live stream, and I feel like I'm in a cult commune somewhere with how every third or fourth comment there says the words "Glory to Project Moon." But FGO to
I mean, if they got a good game and people are saying it's great, then what's the problem? Like, you may not think it's the best game ever, but a lot of people do. And it's just an opinion, buddy. It's just an opinion. You need to relax, pull back a little bit, and just be like, you know what? I'm going to enjoy a nice glass of water. I'm going to take a few breaths. Maybe get some gamer subs using code TYSER for 10% off. Sorry if I keep rubbing that in. And just be a, just be a regular person. Just pull back a little bit. Because this, again, is just really weird. And, like, you need some help of some sort. Because if you're crashing out this badly because somebody said that Woowa was the best game ever and it, like, it just really ticked you off that badly, I think you might need a little bit of help. Just a little bit.
a lesser extent also applies if what I know about some of its content creators and player base, specifically on the JP side, is any indication. I'd like to leave you all with one last thing. Being enthusiastic about your favorite gacha game is fine and all. Like, hell, going overboard every once in a while just for the memes is fine too. Not saying that you can't have fun with it or anything, but a lot of what I see out there isn't just being enthusiastic, it's a straight up hive mind. Like I said, a swarm of wasps that's building their nest bigger and bigger.
People.
And whenever anyone even looks at them funny, they all start swarming out to attack them. To many of you, YouTubers and streamers saying stuff like, oh, Zenless or Wuwa is like the hardest gacha game ever is not that big of a deal. But to me, it is, for the reasons stated above.
Who the fuck cares? Why do you... Okay, I understand why you said you care, but again, I go back to the point. You have not even gotten to where that the other creator has in the battle tower, and you said that it's not as hard as the other things that you pass. I say, and I challenge you to, I challenge you to play the battle tower fully and then say that. Once you get to level 70 in the battle tower, just like the other person was, you have every right to say which part of the game is harder. You do. I'm just going to tell you this right now. You've already invalidated your point, and you're only getting mad because you don't think ZZZ is hard. I'm not going to say it is or not. I have fun with my gacha games. Fun. Because they're meant to be fun. Games are meant to be played to have fun. And if people have their opinions that don't agree with yours, or that don't align with yours, why the fuck does it matter?
I know that I can't force people to change their behavior. I'm no Saint Pontus who likes to throw his fanboys at someone else's video and has them dislike.
I feel like really you just wanted to crash out on Tectone, Saint Tontas, and Ithoma because you feel like they personally attacked you. I think that that's all this was. You threw other content creators under the bus like Ethan and a couple others for no fucking reason, just because you wanted to throw a little hissy fit about shit. Your pride is hurt because you play 13 gacha games and so many other people are saying the one gacha game that you don't agree with that is like super, you know, up there right now and is gaining a lot of traction. You want to be the different person. You want to be the guy that's like, hey, actually Cub Scouts 1996 is actually the hardest gacha game out there. You know, you want to be that, you know, that one dude, right? Because you play 13 other gacha games on a regular and you know exactly what the fuck you're talking about. You're the gacha god. Right? Cringe. Cringe, dude. Hella cringe.
Bomb the out of it just because it dared to criticize Wuwa's story. But what I can do is tell the rest of you guys, either on the sidelines or those willing to listen, what to look out for. And that'll do it for this video. All my socials are down in the description.
All right, that's it. I'm just going to say it right now. Like, I usually don't get into this, but this video absolutely pissed me off, right? He's probably gonna get a laugh at me, like making fun of him, calling himself the gacha god a lot. But honestly, dude, you're a hypocrite. If you haven't even beaten the battle tower in ZZZ, you have no right to say what is hard and what is not, right? Because you're getting mad at somebody saying that this is the hardest Hoyoverse game or Gacha game or whatever the fuck. They beat it at level 70. You said yourself that you haven't even gotten there, but you've played harder games because it took you hours to do in multiple tries, but you've beaten them. You've beaten those, but you haven't beaten this. But you're saying it's not as hard as the ones that you've beaten. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I guess I'm crazy. Overall, I think that you are just mad because people are saying this. You just are upset because the people who are saying this are big fans of Ithoma, Saint Tontas, Tectone. So you crashed out on Tectone when Tectone tried to help you a lot. Tectone gave you a lot of shit for it. Then you went and brought in like a bunch of shit. Even in your stream clips, you brought in a bunch of shit. But Tectone kept receipts. You fucked up, and now you're pissed off. Like this video happened before Tectone revealed receipts and everything. I just want to make that clear. But I feel as though this guy is this guy is playing 13 gacha games because he has nothing else in life. That's just me. That's my opinion. And maybe I'm being harsh. I don't know. I can't get behind this guy. I really can't. I think this is dumb. Anyways, y'all, Gacha Grandpa. That's going to be it. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below. How many gacha games are you playing right now? And would you call yourself a gacha god? Let me know. Anyways, y'all, that's going to be it. Love you guys to death. And as always, we'll catch you in the next video. Please take care and be safe.